questions 11 through 20 on the 2010 Grade 9 Pascal Math Contest. Several three-legged tables and four-legged tables have a total of 23 legs. If there is more than one table of each type, what is the number of three-legged tables? So 3 times x plus 4 times y is equal to 23. That's the equation. X represents the number of three-legged tables, and y represents the number of four-legged tables. And they're saying that the total number of legs is 23, and that's why this is 23. So what this boils down to is trying to find integer solutions to this equation. So we can just make a quick table, and keeping in mind that each of these values has to be greater than 1, more than one table of each type. So we'll start off with x, and we'll let x equals 2, because it has to be greater than 1. If x is 2, and we plug it into this equation, and we solve for y, you get a y value of 4.25. Now obviously that's not an integer, so this is not going to be a solution. Try x equals 3, and you get 3.5. Again, no good. Try x equals 4, you get 2.75. Try x equals 5, and you get 2. So this is our integer solution, and it's the only one under the conditions of the question. And therefore, the number of three-legged tables is represented by x, and that is 5. So number 11, the answer is E. 12 1x1 squares form a rectangle as shown. What is the total area of the shaded regions? Area of the shaded regions, essentially it's two triangles, right? It's this triangle right here, and it's this triangle right here. So we can just do 1/2 base times height for each of those. The first one, base is 2, and the height is 4. And then the next one, the base, I can call this the base, 3, and the height again is 4. So this becomes 4 plus 6, and that is 10. So number 12, the answer is C. There are 400 students at Cayley High School, where the ratio of boys to girls is 3 to 2. There are 600 students at Fermat Collegiate Institute, where the ratio of boys to girls is 2 to 3. When considering all of the students from both schools, what is the ratio of boys to girls? So first, let's talk about Cayley High School, and they're saying the boy to girl ratio is 3 to 2. So there's 400, right? 400 students there. So you can easily figure this out. You divide 400 by 5, and that's 80. And then 80 times 3 is going to be the number of boys, and then 80 times 2 is going to be the number of girls for this particular school. Now we talk about Fermat Collegiate Institute, and they have a ratio of boys to girls of 2 to 3. And their number of students is 600. So in a very similar way, 2 plus 3 is 5. Divide 600 by 5, and you get 120. Then you multiply by 2, and 120 times 2 is 240 boys, and 120 times 3 is 360 girls. So that is the number of boys and girls at Fermat. Now they want the total. So if you look at this entire group of students, what is the ratio of boys to girls? Okay, so total boys to total girls, 240 plus 240, so that's 480 boys. And then girls, 160 plus 360, so that is 520. And then, of course, they want this in lowest terms. And when you do that, you get 12 over 13. So, number 13, the answer is B. The numbered net shown is folded to form a cube. What is the product of the numbers on the four faces sharing an edge with the face numbered 1? All right, so we got something 3D, and as always, it helps to draw a diagram. Now, if you're practicing at home, absolutely nothing wrong with taking a piece of paper, making a little a diagram like this, taking a scissors, cutting it out, and folding it up to make a cube if you need to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually encourage it. Or if you have a Rubik's Cube, you can just, do it that way. So what I'm going to concentrate on is the 5. It makes it easier for me. And I'm going to put the 5 up top. And then just bringing the folds down, this fold obviously would come down. So the 6 kind of comes here. This fold comes down on the other side, 3. And then this fold would come down to be here. And then now I think it gets a little bit, not necessarily difficult, but a little bit of visualization requirement. When you bring the 2 down, it will, this one right here, it will be on the same plane as the 3, okay? And the only other place the 3 can, or the 2 can go in terms of our diagram, since the 6 went here in the front, and the 4 went over there to the left, and the 3 went over there to the right. Or sorry, the 3 is actually behind. That should have been right behind. Kind of makes it easier, I think. 6 front, and then 4 is left. There, I think that's a little bit better. So going back to the question, the only other place that the 2 can go in the same plane or the same level as the 3 is right here, which would be the right. So I hope that makes sense. So that means the 1, there's only one place for it, and it's right here at the bottom. So what are the 4 numbers that share an edge with the 1? Well, everything shares an edge with the 1 except the 5. So this 4 shares an edge, a 6, a 2, and 3. So they want the product of those numbers. So 4 times 6 times 3 times 2 is what they are asking. And that is 144. So number 14, the answer is B. If 10% of S is T, then S equals. I always like to use a number. Let S be 100. 10% of S would therefore be 10. And that, they're saying, is equal to T. 10% of S is T. So now they're saying, what is S in terms of T? Well, S is obviously 10 times T. Right? If you use a number, I think it makes it a little bit easier. So number 15, the answer is D. 4 identical squares are cut from the corners of the rectangular sheet of cardboard shown. This sheet is then folded along the dotted lines and taped to make a box with an open top. The base of the box measures 5 by 4. The volume of the box is 60 centimeters cubed. What was the area of the original sheet of cardboard? Okay. Well, the volume is going to be length times width times height, correct? And they tell you that is 60. Well, the length and width, they've already told you in the question, are 4 and 5. So length is 5, width is 4, and then we got this h. So solving for h, we get 3. So we now go back and understand that this would be 3 from there to there. And this will also be 3. And so on, right? This is 3, all the way around. You get the point. So from there to there is going to be 3 plus 5 plus 3, which is 11. And then from there to there, it'll be 3 plus 4 plus 3, which is 10. So the area of this cardboard sheet is 11 times 10, which is 110. And therefore, number 16, the answer is B. In the diagram, PW is parallel to QX, S and T lie on QX, and U and V are the points of intersection of PW with SR and TR respectively. If SUV is 120 degrees and VTX is 112, what is the measure of URV? All right. Let's start labeling SUV. This article, or angle, I should say, is 120. Okay, And then the other one, VTX. Where's that? Right here, right? So that's 112. Okay, so if that's 112, then this has got to be 180 minus 112, because those angles have to add up to 180. So that's going to be 68. And then this, by the same principle, has to be 60. And the fact that these two lines are parallel gives you an important clue that if you draw this Z shape, this angle has to be the same as that angle, right? That's a property. So therefore, this is 60. And now they want you to figure out URV, which is this angle right here. Well, we got it all. X plus 60 plus 68, those three angles have to add up to 180 since they are the sum of the angles of a triangle. Solving for X, you will get 52. So number 17, the answer is A. The gas tank in Catherine's car is 1/8 full. When 30 liters of gas are added, the tank becomes 3/4 full. If the gas costs Catherine $1.38 per liter, how much will it cost her to fill the remaining quarter of the tank? She's going from 1/8 to 3/4, so we have to figure out how much did she fill. 3/4 minus 1/8, multiply top and bottom by 2, you get 6 minus 1 over 8, which is 5/8. So when she put 30 liters of gas in her car, that is equivalent to 5/8 of the tank. So 5 over 8x is 30 liters. Okay? So we solve for x, and if we do, we get x is equal to 48. So that basically means that 48 liters is how much her full tank requires. Now, she's going to fill the remaining quarter of the tank. So a quarter of 48 is 48 divided by 4, which is 12. So she's going to put 12 liters of gas in her car, and we will have to figure out the price. Well, 12 liters times $1.38 per liter, and that is $16.56. So number 18, the answer is C. In the diagram, points U, V, W, X, Y, Z lie on the straight line UV equals V, W equals WX equals XY equals YZ equals 5. Semicircles with all those diameters create the shape. What is the area of the shaded region? So I hope you can see that if you take the semicircle and you put it here, you kind of fill that hole, whatever gap. Similarly, if you take this semicircle and you put it here, it fills that hole. So essentially what happens is you get a semicircle like this, where this one filled that and this one filled that. But we've got one tiny semicircle left. So our area that we're trying to figure out is the big semicircle, so pi r squared divided by 2, which is this big guy right here, plus a small semicircle, so pi small r squared over 2, and that's this guy right here. Okay, so all we have to do is just figure out the radii and we're done. Well, the small radii, that's easy. They tell us that y to z is 5. So if the diameter is 5, the radius is 2.5. So the radius is 5 over 2 squared. So that takes care of the little guy. Now the big guy, that diameter, well, that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those small diameters, and each of those is 5. So the big diameter is 5 times 5, which is 25. And therefore the radii, the big radii, radius, I should say, is 25 divided by 2. So that's going to be all squared divided by 2. So this is going to give us our answer, and it's going to be one of these, obviously. So let's see what this brings us. We can factor out a pi over 2. And this is 25 squared is 625. 2 squared is 4. 5 squared is 25. And 2 squared is 4. So this gives me pi over 2. 625 plus 25 is 650. over 4. And therefore this looks like 650 pi over 8. And in lowest terms, it's going to be 325 pi over 4. And that is A for number 19. The odd integers from 5 to 21 are used to build a 3 by 3 magic square. In a magic square, the numbers in each row, the numbers in each column, and the numbers in each diagonal have the same sum. If 5, 19, and 17 are placed as shown, what is the value of x? The numbers we are going to use are 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, and 21. And 3 of these they've already placed, and those are 5, 9, and 17. So we got to fiddle around with this. The first thing, of course, is to add up all these guys, all of them. If you do, you get a sum of 117. Now, 117 has to divide by 3, because when you divide by 3, you will get the sum for each row or each column. So that's the quickest way to figure out what is that number. And therefore, 117 divided by 3 is 39. So that means that each of these rows or columns has to have a sum of 39. So we can proceed. If this is y, then that means that 9 plus y plus 17 is 39. And that means that y is going to be 13. So instead of a y, I can put 13 in there. So there we go. And then now you just kind of keep on going, fiddling around with this. Obviously, we can do this one here. 5 plus 13 plus something is going to be 39. And you can quickly figure out that that has to be 21. And then very similarly, x plus 21 plus some number here has going to have a sum of 39. And that is only possible if the x and y add up to 18. And we've already used up a few of these, right? So the only two numbers that are remaining that can add up to 18 are the 7 and the 11. So we are now stuck with a choice. Would I put the 7 here or the 7 here? And, you fiddle around with that. And when you do, you figure out that the only way this can work is if the 11 goes here and the 7 goes there. And then you can figure out the remainder of these. Since the 7 and the 11 are taken, we only have to place the 15 and the 19. And the 19 goes here, and the 15 goes there. It's just like a puzzle. So the x we have figured out is 11. So number 20, the answer is B.